Alright guys, I'm going to try and pause this and I'm going to step it up as I go a little bit so I can show you what I'm talking about. So this is somewhat less than barbaric, and we'll take it from there, and I'm going to try to pause it and sand a little and pause it and see how it turns out. So you can almost see, not real close, but if you look in there you can almost start to see a little reflection, even though that's 120 grit rough sanding. So anyway, let's see how this works. Alright, it's hard to see a lot of difference, but I'm just going to step it up. You'll see a lot of difference coming up though. Alright, and try this again, pausing it. Alright, I haven't looked back at this video yet. I won't be able to till I'm finished, but it's kind of hard for you guys probably to see the difference, but it's minutely getting better and better. And also the lighting is kind of screwy. So next I'm going to be going to wet sanding. That was 320 right there, and now I'm going to be stepping up to 500, then 1,000, and then watch how fast it comes around. Of course, I'm not doing all that yet. I'm doing this for the purpose of the video for you guys, and then I got to get my ass to work and get all of this done. But yeah, I just thought I'd kind of show you guys a little bit. You can see this is just using a DA right now, bringing that around, but watch how quick it comes. The rest is hand sanding. So real quick, the most important thing I found is you're trying to get that surface as flat as possible. You want it flat like glass. And what happens to me a lot of time is I rush, and you don't see it till you start polishing. You can get all these little scratches and pits and stuff that are deeper than the grade of sandpaper that you're using, and you'll have to re-sand it and do it again. So sometimes I get in a little hurry, but it looks good from a distance, but when you get up close you can see it. Okay, going to pause it again. Stay tuned. Okay, this is 500 wet sanded, and again, see all those tiny little scratches. We're just going to work our way up to 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. I may just stop at 2,000 on this. One thing I'd like to say is you could actually start buffing that. See how you can see a little bit of reflection when I move my hand, like right there? You could actually buff that right now and it would look shiny like that, but you would see a gazillion little scratches in there, you know, from the sandpaper and so forth. I like the wet sanding. Like, I did a lot of dry sanding before, and then I would buff it. I wouldn't really wet sand it because I didn't think it was necessary. But with the wet sanding, number one, it gives you a smoother finish each time, but you can feel a lot more with your fingers, and I think that's what's very important about it. Because every once in a while you'll pick up a tiny little piece of grit, and if you were dry sanding you'd never feel that because it's really rough anyway when you're dry sanding. But when you're wet sanding, it's real smooth, and you can feel every little piece that you pick up, and you'll know it immediately. So I keep a little squirt bottle with me, and I soapy water, and I squirt that off. I dip my sandpaper. You got to keep it really clean. It's no big deal, but it just keeps you from having to do extra work. It doesn't take long at all. Aluminum sand's really easy. So the worst part is I keep stopping, wiping it off, and taking pictures. But again, I'm just doing this one section for purpose of the